Hey everybody, this is Crystal Oliver, your new favorite financial coach, and I am jumping on here live because today is Friday and it is Financial Freedom Friday. I got my clipboard and I am ready to coach you guys to financial freedom. So tonight we're going to talk about why when I say we, I'm talking about my personal family, why we have 7 accounts and the benefits of having those accounts. And so we're going to jump right in and talk about that tonight. So why we have 7 accounts and how we use those accounts and what are the benefits of having all of these accounts. All right. So the first thing is we get our checks to go into 2 separate accounts. And so the first account, anytime I talk about budgeting, I talk about 2 different types of bills that you have. You have your fixed bills, and then you have your variable bills, your variable expenses, those things that may change a little bit from month to month that you can budget for, but the expenses may actually change. Okay. And so anytime the first account that we have is what I call our bill account. And so what we do with the bill account is we put enough money in there to meet all of our fixed expenses, those things that we know the exact amount or close to the amount. And so those are things like our house note, car insurance, anything that is a fixed bill, utility bill. Sometimes that fluctuates, but for the most part, we know about how much it's going to be. And so we put enough money in that account to meet those bills. I like to automate payments for my bills. And so some of those are automated, money automatically comes out. Everything else, even if I do it electronically, I have it all set up so I can pay my bills. If I needed to, I can pay them in 5 minutes, but I pay them based on kind of the due dates. And so typically, I just go in, everything is already set up. I put the amount in there. It's already budgeted. And so in that account is just enough to meet the expenses of all of our fixed bills. All right. The number 2 account that we have is what we call a variable expense account or our debit card account. That money is in what we do is just put it in a checking account. It's connected to our debit card. So that's gas, that's eating out, that's groceries, those things that we're going to swipe our debit card for. That's what we put in that particular in that particular account. And so people always ask me, well, how much do I need to be able to put in that account? Typically what we do is we just kind of estimate based on what we've done in the past. And so we know pretty much how much money we spend on groceries, how much money we spend on gas, how much money we spend eating out. So we take that amount of money and we put it in that particular account. We use our debit card against it. We watch it. We come back in, manage it, always go in and reconcile everything to make sure that we are not overspending. So that is what we call the variable expense account. The next one is we have a short-term savings account. And I always talk about having at least $1,000 in a short-term savings account. What is the purpose of this short-term savings account? It's really just to help you when you have those small emergencies, those things that come up in your life that are going to happen. And so we take that money, we have it available to us. We try to have quick access to that if we need it. And so we have quick access to those short-term emergencies that we might have that come up in our lives. We have $1,000. What we try to do every month is put a little bit of money in there every month. So it's always replenishing itself. And so we don't necessarily have to take a big lump sum out of our checking account and put it in there. Every now and then, if we have it, we'll do that so that we can always keep that at a minimum of $1,000. So that's your short-term savings account. The next one is your long-term savings account. You've heard me talk about this before. It's having at least 3 to 6 months. Some people say 6 to 9 months. Some people say a year, whatever works for you in terms of your long-term savings account. And what is this? This is a real emergency. You lose your job or you're about to lose your house or something that is really critical and a real true emergency in your life. And you have enough money to be able to pay for that and address that emergency. And so I always say have a long-term savings account. Now, where do you put this money? I always tell people automate this process. Okay, so automate it. Put this money in a separate bank account. So you can. There are plenty of online accounts or credit unions where you can put money and gain a little bit of interest. You want to not have quick access to it, but you want to be able to get to it. So you don't want to lock it down so much that you don't have access to it. So you don't want to bank where it's really difficult to get this money, but you don't want it to be easy either. You don't want it to be able to just transfer. I don't connect my long-term savings necessarily to where I easily can transfer money out of it. I usually would have to like go and get it or something like that. I just do that to make it more difficult for myself. And so you want this process, the savings that go into that account, you want it to be automated. All right. And so that is your long-term savings account. Now we have, and everybody don't need to have this, but we have what we call a kids or an education account. We put money over to the side for all of our kid activities. Now these days, kids have a million activities that they're a part of. And so we pay for education, for schooling, for tutoring, for sporting activities or any type of training. And so we put money over to the side to be able to pay for those things. And so that's something new that we started doing. And I actually really like it a lot because I'm able to go there and see what I have and see if I have enough money. So if we need to sign up for tutoring or if one of the boys want to do some type of training, one of my sons decided that he wanted to play tennis this year. And so I'm like, okay, let me see if I can afford that. Let me see how much we can put over in this account to be able to afford that. And so so it's an education savings account for kids. It's up to you if you want something like this, but that's just one of the things that we have done. The next thing, number 6, is a Christmas account. Now, I always talk about this. Christmas is coming up every year. And so a lot of us go into debt to pay for Christmas. And so what I try to do is say, no, don't go into debt to pay for Christmas. Save a little bit. Start in January. And I've been talking about this since the beginning of the year. Start in January, $50, $100, whatever you have extra where you can put it into a little small account, put and prepare for Christmas. It's coming every year, same time. And so you don't have to swipe a credit card come November, December, you're rushing. For me personally, I do not spend a lot of money on Christmas. I decide how much I want to save, how much I'm going to spend, and then I divide that by the number of people that I am purchasing for. And so my family already knows you're going to get a certain amount from me almost every year. And so if you bringing a friend at Christmas and they got to get a Christmas present from me, then you're lessening the amount that you get, because I'm going to divide my total amount that I'm spending divided by the number of people that I'm spending on. Now, I spend a little bit extra on my kids in terms of let's say I have to spend for 15 people. So instead of dividing it by 15, I might divide it by since I have 3 kids, I might divide it by 18 so that I can kind of give them a little bit more. But I do not overspend. I don't get crazy at Christmas time. I feel like my children are blessed all year long, so I don't have to make up for it at Christmas. And so they pretty much get what they get. But we try to give them some nice things, but I don't go crazy over it. And so anybody who knows me know I don't overspend at Christmas. And then the last thing is a travel or fun account. Now that's something that is important to us. And so same thing. A friend of mine told me about 2 years ago, she said, Crystal, I started this Acorns account. And so Acorns is a separate it's an account that you can save from using your debit card. All right. And so she was telling me I started this Acorn account and I'm doing it for traveling. And we do like to travel. We drive a lot of places. We fly every now and then, but we drive most of the time. I'm really big on I have certain hotels that I stay in, and we can talk about that another time, maybe like traveling on a budget, because I'm big on traveling on a budget. I use Groupon and I prepare ahead of time. That's a big thing for me, is making sure that I prepare ahead of time so that I'll know how much things are going to cost, and then I can kind of try to reduce our expenses as much as possible. But with the Acorns account, what it does is that it rounds up, or it puts additional money into a separate like savings account, what is called an Acorns account, and it puts that money up for you to be able to use for later. And so a lot of people use it as maybe a savings account or emergency account, but we use ours for a travel account. We know pretty much about how much money we spend each year, and so you can also tell the Acorns, hey, I want you to put up additional amount per pay period or per month. And so we do that so that we're not taken off guard. And then anybody, like, I just went to Nashville probably like back in April with my sister. And so we looked at our account and we said, okay, how much money do we have in Acorns? Because she invited us to come with her, and we had a certain amount. And the hotel that she was staying in was above our budget. It was a hotel we've stayed in the past. And so I said, okay, so if we go, we might not be able to stay in that hotel, but this is how much money we have. And we went, we had a great time. We went over to the hotels, a really nice, fancy hotel that we could hang out at and enjoy some music and a good time. So we were able to do that, but maybe stay somewhere else and still enjoy the activities and celebrate my sister. And so that's what we do. We look and see what do we have to spend in that account, and then that's what we have. And so if we don't have anything, then we're not going anywhere, period. So that's kind of what we do. Y'all know I love to talk to y'all. I love to do one-on-one meetings, coaching meetings. Call me at anytime, 1-800-983-9610. And then also you can check us out at budgetmeblack.com. I'm getting ready to run another class. I just had a class. It's been about, I think it's been 5 months at this point in time. Now, I started in February, so it's been 4 months. We have 2 more meetings. And so it's been really good. I had 15 people to sign up, 12 people to actually attend. And I'm getting testimonials right now, so I can share testimonies on my social media. But I'm telling you, it's been a really good course. It's been really good for us to talk it out as a group and kind of understand, hey, I have this issue. I've learned so much being in this class. People have so many creative ideas on how they save or how they pay on their credit cards or how they use points or whatever it is. And so we have all learned together. I'm the instructor, but I've learned probably just as much as what I've taught. And so it's been a really good time to be able to have some camaraderie and people that are in the same place to say, hey, I want to grow financially. I want to be able to change my mindset around my money and really, at the end of the day, change my future and change my children's future. And so that's really what it's all about, is learning so that we can really learn it so we can earn, so we can all earn more. We can manage what we have so much better. And so I'm going to try to bring out some testimonials. I am having an orientation for that class on this Sunday night. So even if you just want to attend the orientation, see what it's about, see who's in the class, you're welcome to do that. Feel free to email me at info@budgetmeblack.com. Again, that's info@budgetmeblack.com. Or you can go to my website. You can register for the course and just put a note in there and say, hey, Crystal, I just want to attend the orientation to see what it's about. I show you the class. I lay it out for you, show you what it's going to look like and how we're going to function. And I think it'll be beneficial for anybody who's interested in really just getting their finances in order. So we talk about budgeting. We talk about debt reduction. I'll meet with you one-on-one. And we go through a whole plan. So we do budgeting, debt reduction. We do a savings plan. We look at your credit. I give you credit recommendations on the things that you can do to either to correct your credit and rebuild it. We talk about legacy building. So I get someone to come in and talk about insurance, financial planning. And then I can't think of the other one. It's budgeting, savings, debt reduction, credit, and legacy building. Okay, so I thought it was 6, but maybe it's 5. But basically, what we just go through everything, and we talk about mindset. That's the first night we talk about mindset, and so we talk about all the things that we have learned that some of us need to unlearn, so that we can really sit down and manage what we have. I always tell people that your money will tell you what to do if you don't tell it what to do. And so money literally is paper. It does not have a brain. You have to tell it what to do, or it will tell you what you can and cannot do. And so that's what we're trying to get past, that where our money is pushing us around. We're telling it what to do, and then we set up a plan and make it happen. And so we got some people in this course that's killing it. They're making it happen. Their lives are being changed. And so, you know, I'm like, there's a song that says, if I can help somebody, then my living is not in vain. And so that is my story right now. I'm trying to help as many people as I can. So my living is not in vain. And so anyway, y'all have a good night. And don't forget to go to budgetmeblack.com, register for that course, show up on Sunday night, learn about it. And I promise you, your life will change. So, all right. Thank you so much. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.